Alright, this video will demonstrate how to add some datum dimensions, which are called baseline in Inventor, and I'm going to really quick review what was in the last video, but really fast, so if you need to, just pause and rewind. So this is the part I'm going to dimension, so I need to create a new drawing file, and I'm going to quickly change the sheet like I showed you in the last video because this is way too big. So there we go. And I'm going to add my views. So because I already had that part open, I just click, go to the right view, go back to the front, then go up to the top view, and then I go over for the ISO view and click. And once I've got those views, I can just right click and click OK. And now I'm ready to start moving some things around. So again, if I hover over the view, I get these red dotted lines, and then I can left click and drag. And that's what I want. And then you need to have your ISO view shaded. So if I go edit view, right click edit view, and then I change it to this shaded button, it's going to color it in. You only want the isometric shaded, not the other views. And now let's go to the annotate tab, and I'm going to start adding some dimensions. But when you add baseline dimensions, there's a little tool. This is the same thing as datum. And if you use the tool, it automatically adds them. You just tell Inventor which lines to dimension to. So it's kind of cool, kind of fast. So I'm going to click on the button. I'm going to start at the left side of my front view and just click and click and click and bring, and then right click and say continue, and see how it's bringing down my dimensions. And then I'm just going to click to add those. And if you forgot a dimension, like if I want to add the center to the circle, I can just click on that and it automatically adds it to the bottom. And you never dimension hidden lines. And so I'm actually done with this view. There's nothing really else baseline wise to add, so I'm going to right click and do create. And I do still need to dimension this circle though, and that's not part of the baseline. So I'm going to click dimension, wait until the outside of the circle highlights red, and then click. And then now I'm going to left click and just place this out to the side. One kind of fancy thing to add is, since this hole goes all the way through the part, I can click on this little through depth button and then type THRU. That just means the hole goes all the way through. That's kind of fancy engineering stuff. And when I click OK, this front view is now completely dimensioned, so I'm done with that. Now I can continue with baseline dimensions on the right view. So again, I don't dimension hidden lines, so I'm just going to do the overall width, which is kind of the depth of the part. I just click one side, click the other side, right click continue, bring it either to the bottom or the top. I'm going to bring it to the top, and then I'm done with this one, so I'm just going to click create. And then last, I'm going to do the views on this top view, and I'm going to just do baseline to each line that I want to use. I can also go to this point. I'm just going to click continue to see what happens. And that's pretty good. I could also add to the centers of these circles if I just want to add some. Oh, I already got that one. And I could also add to the end. That gives me every horizontal dimension I would want. So I'm going to go ahead and click create. And then I'd still need to add my arc dimensions. So I'm going to do that again. Dimension, click on the arc, bring the dimension out to the side. And another fancy thing is, since I have two of these arcs and they're the same exact radius, I can say space times 2, and that lets the viewer or the reader or the mechanical engineer or the production person, whoever's reading this drawing, know that the other arc that looks like it actually is just like it, that they both have the same radius. And again, notice that the radius of an arc is always dimensioned with a radius. It's automagic in Inventor. And then circles are dimensioned with a diameter. Remember, that's the diameter symbol. And that's all there is to it when you're doing datum dimensions. Make sure you look at the rubric, because you get points for part of your grade is filling in this title block properly. You need a title, and when you save the file, it automatically fills in the drawing number. And make sure you have that isometric view shaded and your sheet size adjusted. And that is a mechanical drawing.